to another makeup tutorial with Rosie. Today we're going to be doing one of my most requested characters for a makeup look, and that is the Tiny Titty Goth Domme girlfriend. This look first showed up a couple months back on my main TikTok account. I kind of did this whole well, I'll share it later in the video, but she was basically a character I did for a point of view video. Sort of just like as a caregiver Domme, and people ended up liking her way more than I had anticipated, and now this character is now a staple in the House of Quartz content. So I'm going to be walking you through how to do everything from the eyes to the teeth, the contour like this, all of the above. So let's get started. Right off the bat, we're going to start out with a full face of foundation minus like where the eyeshadow is going to go, and a cheese stick for Serenity. First thing I'm going to do is kind of start drawing like outline of eyebrow through here. Of course, like this is for filming, so it's very bold. You can go with, yeah, ink. Ink is fine. Once I have the general shape and outline that I am going for this look, I actually don't have a lot of time today, so this is going to be more of like a speed run. Now that I've got this general outline here, the thing is, eyeliner pens are expensive. Hella pricey. Like you kind of get maybe, this is not an eyeliner pen, this is just a pen. You get the point, right? Like a pen will cost anywhere up to like $15 or more generally. So I like to cheat the system. I will take body paint, one of these little palettes here, anywhere from between $15 to $30 here. You get an insane amount of product that you can really just continue to draw out over time, versus always doing like basically like all your eyeliner, all your eyebrow, or whatever effect. Instead of doing that, you take a little bit of body paint and shade in on top of it. So as you can see, it is very bold, and we're going for angle here. I'm not gluing this down, but I'm still trying to keep a lot of space to get as much detail in as possible. A glue down would add like half an hour extra to my routine here, and I really don't have that kind of time. So I want to create as much space as possible in this area here, because I want to add a lot of detail is coming into this space here. This is also a character, or a caricature even. So I want this to be as bold and intense as possible. Almost as if I was doing like, you know, when they do a cartoon and they have that bold outline along the features, almost that kind of makeup, but not quite. It's really just to stand out during filming. Once I've created a shape that I like across here, because I used body paint and I don't want it to smear, we're also in a heat wave right now, which means everything just wants to melt. So given that this is body paint, I'll just take a little bit of black loose powder and mat it down into here so that it'll stay, especially when I spray it with a fixative, that it's not going to move. Because my looks are just really heavy, there's a lot of glitter involved, a lot of detail, I really need the color to stick and pigment as intensely as possible. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a primer that'll really help everything stick. Now what I found is and yes, primer counts. Primer makes a world of difference, but the primer that you put under your foundation versus to make powder or pigment stick and pop is different. So what I have here is the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer. It feels pretty gross and tacky, but it really does help everything stick. This was a couple bucks, especially if you watch for it to go on sale, versus like this was the Milani Eyeshadow Primer. This doesn't make anything stick. Like the couple dollar one that kind of feels like a little like tacky whatnot actually does make everything stick, versus like this like thin cream stuff. So I'm going to show you what I mean. Unlike a lot of other primer, a putty primer is going to show. It's almost as if I was putting white paint there. There's definitely something noticeable here, but because it is so tacky, it grips. And that's the whole point of this type of primer, is that it has a tight grip, both to the skin itself, but also to whatever you put on top of it. And because this look is going to be like a lot of e-girl looks these days, bring the shadow down around into here. We also are going to be doing that as well. So if this one doesn't help grip as much, why do I have both putty as well as like a light cream base? Well, when you do your looks, when we bring the eyeshadow in here, but we fade it upwards, we don't want as intense color. So what I will do, where I don't want the color to be as intense, I will use a different primer. I still want it to stick, but lightly. So we're just going to take the primer in and blend. So honestly, the biggest frustration when it comes to eyeshadow is getting it to stick. And if you don't actually have an adequate base of primer underneath, what you're going to get is like bald spots where the color just is not sticking to your skin. Now the base colors for this look are red and blue. Blue glitter is coming on the inside. We're going to take just like an angle brush. This can be a little bit messy, it doesn't really matter. We're going to take this angle brush and create a shape over and around the lid itself. And keep in mind, for the look I do, you see, like, I go hard for eyeliner. So hard. I love some good eyeliner technique and arches and whatnot. So this right here is really just the backdrop of the whole entire look. Where I want the most intense color of red to be, of course, is going to be this right here, and that is going to sit behind the eyeliner arches that I am going to do, that it's actually going to cut through here. Because I have these very hooded eyes, the way I do eyeliner is using that like classic trick. I think a lot of this learned from TikTok, where we're going to essentially literally color in this with black. Now since I did a very compact color, just straight red, the next color that's going to happen that we're going to be fading up and up is going to be one of the colors where you see like it's got some shimmer to it, some highlight. But yeah, we're going to take the next one up with a little bit of a combination of red and orange. And that's going to come in on the fluffy brush. Whereas like the brush I used before is very similar but a little bit smaller to get in here. This is going to be covered in glitter and eyeliner, so it doesn't matter if it's messy, which is why I really do like this look. I can just be as messy as I really want to be, because the whole point is to be dramatic. Dramatic is all get out. As you can see, like where I use the different types of primer, we've got very light to more intense red. And of course you blend it all out as you go. These looks are for those of us who are not necessarily that great with the dexterity. Although the eyeliner we're about to do will challenge that just a little bit. Next up, before we really start layering in the extra detail, we're going to add some definition to right in here. Unfortunately for a lot of us who got into makeup, who really weren't that great at math, this is where we start learning that math is literally everywhere. Especially in just, yeah, I know, I can hear just like maniacal laughing from like the artist section. But everything is about where you make it pop, where you define it. That is going to be what draws everything together very cohesively. So you can also take a little bit of black in with the red, just so you can make sure it's just not absolutely freaking stupidly dark. We just want to create a little bit of a shadow effect right there. And sometimes what will help is if you take like that angle brush and you literally pull the color over along with the angle. just swoop it along. So a lot of people like to say like, I don't have the dexterity for this. That's why you let the brush do the work for you. And then as we go back over here, you can just take where it smears upward and blend that in. So you kind of get what we have, just sort of very pumpkin-y-esque. Now for the really fun part, which is what ties this whole look together, and that is going to be all of the extraness that is the way I do my eyeliner. So we're going to start with just like a thin line through here, your basic shape. Now keep in mind, false lashes are going over this, so you want your line to be thick enough to just poke up underneath where the lash line will go. Keep the inner corner here fairly clear because we're still going to add some more detail in this area. And then next we're going to be doing our tail, swooping upward. And do that line just like that. This is why I really love these pens. See how fine that point is? So all you have to do is lay it almost flat to your face at the base, but then as you come up to the point of the pen as you drag it upwards, and that's what creates that really fine line there. That'll take a lot of practice. This is literally something I did almost every single day for months until I developed the muscle memory to just do it. And next off, what we're going to do is create the shape. Now I'm going to be creating some arches that go up into here. So right about there is where I want my line. And we want to bring it just up past the crease. And from there, bring it down. As you can see, we have created a chunk. This is a chunk of outline here. So once we've created the general shape that we're going for, like this, I start in on more of the extra detail. So as you can see, that's going to be, think of it almost like itty bitty little fangs coming out of your eyeballs. That's going to take a first itty bitty little tooth, and I try to angle the point right for that arch in the eyebrow, more or less. So once again, I often roll like nat ones on dexterity. So what you first do is literally take, like as you can see, we have like a more or less straight line here. Like from a distance, doesn't fucking matter. Always keep that in mind. Like if you're really hard on yourself, if you're really super perfectionistic about your looks, the camera doesn't really show it. Like, how are they gonna know? Your brain's gonna be like, I'm gonna know. And the camera's like, how are they gonna know? Just like I said, itty bitty tiny little tooth here. And from there we're gonna do 3 more. The second one's gonna swoop here, and the third one's actually going to come out. You just want the second one to be longer than the first. Like I said, itty bitty little fangs. So once you've got that shape going here, as always, trust the process. It looks stupid at certain points, you just gotta keep going. And from there, we pull it outside. So you see how I avoided like literally touching the exact tip? I want to keep it as thin as possible. So you come down a little ways down the line and then pull it back in towards your swoop. It's like you're coloring in the lines, right? Where you want to just fill in like whatever little spots you notice are left behind, but that is essentially the shape you're going. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now back to the body paint. This time we're going in with white. White is that really great tool that you can use to make stuff pop. So we're going to highlight this lower edge here. And it's really easy to blend out white. It's really hard to fuck up white, especially with body paint, because you literally can just put the eyeshadow back on top of it and it sticks really well. Next, we're going to start highlighting the inner corner as well. Just going to bring it up a little ways past here. All of this is going to blend out. What we really want to do is pull the paint back this way. I find fingers are kind of the easiest way to do this, especially if, like me, you've got a lot of like loose skin down here. It really does not like to play well with brushes. You just swoop a brush over it and you just have like little like naked wrinkles left behind. No, just skin to skin contact sometimes really does work the best. Next up, tiny thin angular brush into there. And when I come closer, you can see like this is not really filled in that well. That is because of all these little details. I never know if I'm going to mess up as I go along, so I save filling in and touching up for last. Next, we are going to, now that we've created that point there, we're going to find a little bit of white here and draw it up. For the really fun part, we're going to take some loose glitter. You can get these capsules on Amazon, of course. You can go to your local theater garage. There's lots of cosplay and costuming places around. So you're going to take the loose glitter, and what I did was I just refreshed the putty so that it will stick. I'm going to take that glitter and mash it in there. Make sure you press it in really good and tight so that it actually adheres. Once you got your blue glitter going there, we're going to start highlighting and making other areas pop, such as right under the eyebrow. Once it's on, you can actually take a smaller brush with some highlighter and smooth it out. Alright, now that we've got all of this filled in, it's time for some more claws, and this time we're going to be taking them down this way. Now as I go, I also brought that white down through here. Sometimes I'll connect it all black through here, but for this look I found, just with the sheer number of claws, that sometimes just having like the white carry through really makes it stand out. Okay, next up is the nose, and for that we're going to take a very light reddish, pinkish orange kind of blend here. It's not quite pink, not quite red, not quite orange, but that we're going to do our nose contour with. Means we're going to bring that back up this way and blend it out. Of course, this is not bronzer, so it kind of goes on the skin differently than when you do contour with an actual contour kit. You gotta remember, I'm still using eyeshadow pigment to contour with, because, well, most contour doesn't come in any other color aside from skin tone, which can be really frustrating for like cosplayers and makeup artists and such, because like you're literally stuck just always using eyeshadow. Can be a little bit difficult to find products that are outside that range. Even if you want lipstick that is just not red or pink or tan, it can be very difficult to find. You kind of have to special order that stuff in. It's not really anything that you can get just at like your local drugstore. So what I found works out really well for my nose shape is kind of like a little bit of a heart. Everyone's facial features are a little bit different, so because I have such a distinctive nose, like side profile moment for you there, like as you can see, like my nose is a very distinct shape. So what I found is that what looks really good from the front is little itty bitty heart shape, which I discovered quite by accident, of course. It's little things you do just as you go. There's a lot of stuff that'll happen, even like the accidents that happen as you make your face can create some of like, just out of nowhere you'll be trying to follow along someone's tutorial, your finger will slip and you'll be like, oh crap, you look back and be like, oh, that actually looks better on my face than what they were doing. So you can kind of like grow and adapt from there, which is why like I don't have any issues with anybody like seeing my characters and building their own makeup looks off of them, because even if you copy this exactly, it is going to turn out differently on your face than it does on mine. Next up is going to be the contacts, the lashes, all of that. It's just like your standard glue-on lashes. So these are Plague contacts, and I picked them up from my local theater costuming store in town. So they have like just a whole selection there on the wall. So if you look up Plague contacts and your whatever else, you can't really find on Amazon, at least here in Canada, but you can look up Plague if you want to find contacts that are like red. It's ringed with black, but then they also have little itty bitty spots of white in them, like so. So as you can see, we're getting like this very intense character coming through here. We also put like white paint, body paint with the highlighter through here just to make that pop. So we're just going to add the final pieces to this look, and the Tiny Titty Goth Domme Girlfriend vampire character will be complete for today. Alright, next up, the teeth. We're going to be putting in our vampire fangs. You can get these on Amazon. They're just hollow on the inside. And what you're going to do is you're going to take Polydent, Polygrip. Yeah, you know the thing that your grandparents used to keep their dentures in? Yes. Yes, you are going to have that in your bathroom. Generally speaking, if you are putting teeth on top of your teeth. So what I did is just filled up the hollow of the tooth with the Polygrip. Slide it. And once you close your mouth and you kind of like suck back on it, the moisture in your mouth is kind of what seals it to your tooth. For anyone who's wondering, this is nasty. Like, it doesn't really have a flavor to it, but it's just so gummy and sticky and it tends to spill out. Ugh, I hate it so much. Ugh. Then we're just gonna add some drama to the corners. Like so. And then, of course, the hair. So as you can see, because this is lace front, it just looks like it blends kind of seamlessly into just my skin tone. Once this is all brushed out, it just looks absolutely fantastic. I love this wig. Also from Amazon, it's just a really great, easy to throw on goth look. And there you go, a full vampire look. If you want to hear me talk more about the character itself, I'll be doing that on my next podcast episode, DIY Sugar Baby, or Do It Yourself Sugar Baby. The first episode is already out. You can find that here on the YouTube channel, DIY Sugar Baby, or on Spotify under the same name. And this coming episode, we're going to be talking about accounting things. But yes, here you go, overall, from the hair to the teeth to the eyes, as well as the dramatic makeup look here. This is how you pull together my tiny titty goth dom girlfriend look. I just threw a corset with this was given to me by a friend, but the skirt is also Amazon. As you can tell, like, a lot of people have helped me out and supported my channel through my wish list there. Because a lot of people support that wish list, I'm able to take my own income and put it into supporting smaller businesses. So I'll be giving some shout outs to those as well in the future. I'm so excited to do that. So thank you for joining me for our little makeup tutorial here. You can find me on TikTok, of course. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, all of that good stuff. We'd love to see you there. We'd love to talk more makeup and cosplay stuff with you. So thank you for joining me, and let's see this character in action.
Hey you, dipshit! Yeah you, the one looking at the phone all googly-eyed? Did you eat today? Did you drink water? No? I fucking thought not. Go get on that shit. You're a beautiful flower that needs nourishment. You're an absolute gem. I want you healthy and happy. I do this 'cause I care about you, dumbass.